Hello students, today I am going to explain you about non-finite verbs. Read the following sentences. I go to school every day. He goes to school every day. They go to school every day. So students, in these sentences, the verb go changes to goes according to the number of people doing the action. In these sentences, the verb go also changes according to the person. For example, with first person I, it is go, but with third person he, it changes to goes. Finite verbs. What are finite verbs? A verb that changes according to the time of action, present, past, future. The number of people doing the action, singular, plural, and the person, first, second or third person pronouns doing the action is called a finite verb. What are non-finite verbs? Non-finite verbs are verbs which do not change their forms according to the tense, past, present, future, or the number of people doing the action, singular, plural, or the pronoun used as a subject, first, second or third person. For better understanding, read these sentences. I like painting. He likes painting. She likes painting. They like painting. He liked painting. She will like painting. In these sentences, the verb painting does not change according to the time of action, past, present, future. The number of people doing the action, he, she or they, that is singular or plural. The verb painting does not change according to the person or pronoun, I, you, she, that is first, second or third person. Such verbs are called non-finite verbs. The verb like changes because it is a finite verb. Kinds of non-finite verbs. There are three kinds of non-finite verbs. They are called gerunds, infinitives and participles. Gerunds. What are gerunds? Ing form of the verb that functions partly as a verb and partly as a noun. Infinitives. Infinitives are to plus verb. Participles. Participles are also ing form of the verb that functions partly as a verb and partly as an adjective. So, now we will discuss the kinds of non-finite verbs in detail. The first one is the infinitive. The infinitive is referred to as the to plus verb. They are formed by adding to plus verb form, that is to come, to go and to learn. An infinitive is a non-finite verb preceded by to. When an infinitive is used without to, it is called a bare infinitive. Bare infinitive without to are used with modal auxiliaries see, hear, watch, know, feel, let, make, bid, dare, need, had better, would rather, would sooner than, rather than, then and but. With these, we don't use to. The second one is gerund. Gerunds are ing form of verbs that function as nouns. Look at this sentence now. Jogging is good for physical fitness. The word jogging is formed from the verb jog by adding ing. It is therefore a verb. But it is also the subject of the verb is. So, it is performing the work of a noun. If you ask, What is good for physical fitness? The answer is jogging. So, it is also a noun. The second sentence, singing is her hobby. The word singing is formed from the verb sing. Therefore, singing is a verb. But singing is also the subject of the verb is. Therefore, it is doing the work of a noun. You ask the question, what is her hobby? The answer is singing. It acts like a noun. A verb that performs the work of a noun is called a gerund. A gerund is also known as a verbal noun. It ends in ing. Like, I like singing, he likes singing, they like singing. The third one is the participle. Dancing dolls are sold here. The word dancing is formed from the verb dance by adding ing, but it is also describing the noun dolls. So, it is performing the work of an adjective. They bought baking trays. The word baking is formed from the verb bake, but baking is also describing the noun trays. So, it is performing the work of an adjective. A verb that functions as an adjective is called a participle. We say that a participle is a verbal adjective. Now, we will learn about kinds of participles. Participles are formed by adding ing, ed or en to verbs. They are verbs but work as adjectives. When a participle ends with an ing, it is called a present participle. When it ends with ed or en, it is called a past participle. For example, the wounded soldiers were taken home. The painted shop was inaugurated in the morning. The words dancing, baking, wounded are all participles. There are two kinds of participles. The present participle, dancing, baking. The present participle is formed by adding ing to the root form of the verb. The present participle describes an incomplete action or state. Example, the dancing dolls. The process of dancing continues. The present participle is active in form. Example, the dancing dolls. The dolls were dancing. It means they were active. The second one is the past participle. For example, wounded, painted. The past participle usually ends in ed, d, t, en or n. The past participle denotes an action that is complete or a state which is over. The wounded soldiers means the process of getting wounded is complete. The painted shop, the process of painting is complete. If the past participle is formed from a transitive verb, it is passive in form. For example, the wounded soldiers. The soldiers were wounded. This is the passive. The painted shop. The shop was painted. In addition to these two simple participles, there is also a perfect participle. Having finished her food, she read a book. This sentence actually means after finishing her food, she read a book. The perfect participle represents an action that was completed at some point of time in the past. This is very important to differentiate between the gerund and the present participle. The gerund and the present participle are both formed by adding ing to the verb, but they are different from each other. A gerund is a verbal noun. A present participle is a verbal adjective. For example, he was startled by her shouting. The shouting children were told to sit quietly in school. Shouting answers the question, startled by what? It has been used as the object of the preposition by. Since only a noun or a pronoun can act as an object, shouting is a noun. But shouting is also formed from the verb shout. So, shouting is a verbal noun or a gerund. In addition to being a verb form, the verb shouting also describes the noun children and therefore acts as an adjective. So, shouting is a verbal adjective, or we can say a participle. Thank you, students. I hope you have understood what are non-finite verbs. When you solve the exercises, it will be more clear to you.